Joining us for more tonight on this global outbreak of swine flu is Michael Novacek. He is the provost of science at the American Museum of Natural History here in New York, and tonight is making what we expect will be the first of many appearances on World Focus. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Is it safe to say that this outbreak was unexpected, and if so, why?
Well, we expect outbreaks. We expect there to have, we expect to be confronted with the emergence of new diseases, but a particular outbreak in a particular place is not always easy to nail down. And that's because we're dealing with new kinds of organisms, new kinds of microbes. There's a lot about biology in the biological world we don't understand. There are many species that aren't named or described or haven't been identified yet.
And this is totally brand new.
Well, it's a mixture of, it's made up of a mixture of genes of very related viruses, but it's a new combination and it's evolving fast enough to adapt to its host and infect in a particular way.
And why is this swine flu so lethal?
Well, swine flu, like other viruses, are sort of stripped down organisms. They don't do everything. They don't do everything, but what they do, they do very well. They attach to a host organism, they invade, they reproduce, and then they release their offspring, in the process very often destroying the cell. So the functions, that sort of narrowing of functions makes them very lethal and very specific for a task.
You were describing a kind of arms race that goes on in the world of science when it comes to recognizing a virus and then trying to combat that virus. Explain that.
Medical science has really shown its capacity to deal with these diseases and to understand viruses and to deal with treatments or to develop vaccines. But a lot of that understanding really is rooted in understanding the biology, even the evolution of these organisms. A good example is the treatments of AIDS virus, because AIDS viruses adapt very quickly to their host, and they even adapt a resistance to drugs. And so some of the current treatments remove those drugs that the organism's resistant to, hit them with a new battery of drugs and knock them out. So the understanding of how that organism works is very important to an understanding of dealing with a disease.
And do we have a good understanding of this particular flu?
Well, we're just beginning to come to grips with some of the patterns that we're seeing here in the spread of the disease. A vaccine has not been developed yet, of course. It could take 3 or 4 months to do that. We have vaccines for other kinds of viruses that might attack us, but we don't have a vaccine for this one. So this is all part of the learning process in terms of understanding the organism, where it goes, and dealing with its treatment.
Is it safe to say that this flu has already undergone changes?
It's difficult to say how much change the virus has already undergone since we've recognized it. Perhaps not so much, but when it evolved, when it emerged from other viruses, it probably underwent very rapid evolution to adapt to these particular circumstances.
Michael Novacek, a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.